Hello and welcome to A Book in 5 Minutes. I'm Lindsay Milner of silverandtraining.com. This week's book is called High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard. And in a lot of respects, the book, I don't have one to wave at you because it's an electronic copy. It's got a yellow cover with grey lettering, so it's easy to spot. It's being advertised all over Facebook and places like that at the moment. Because he's obviously making a big effort to promote it. It was an interesting read. It reminded me in a lot of ways of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I couldn't remember, I was going to say successful then. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. In that, it's a kind of guide for living your best life. This one is a bit more focused on work than your whole life, but the habits are they carry across into all areas of your life. And it was probably on the whole easier to read than the 7 Habits. I found the 7 Habits really hard going. And although there was a lot of wisdom in that book, which still, we hear a lot repeated today, I just found that book such a hard slog to read. So this was definitely a more engaging read than that. The beginning of it did go on for a little bit too long in my view. He spent quite a lot of time telling us why we should listen to him and why he's the success that he is. And okay, I get that people need to establish that, because otherwise why do you feel that you should listen to them? What is it about them that makes them wise enough to tell you how to live your life? But to my mind, this went on for a little bit too long. And then getting on to the habits, it's actually 6 high performance habits that he gives us. And I'm going to struggle to remember them all. I can remember the first one, which was clarity. Have clarity in what you want out of your life. And this one particularly reminded me of the 7 Habits, in that it's, begin with the end in mind. It's know what you want to achieve. The other thing that I found a little bit frustrating about this book was, first of all, I don't think that the 6 habits are actually habits. Some of them are qualities, things to do, goals, ways to live your life. They're not exactly what I would think of as a habit. The other thing is that each of the 6 habits has got 3 things for you to do. So actually it's 18, which, as I say, that's a lot to remember, and I don't have it all in my head. I'm going to just quickly check. I do have the summary guide chapter here. The first one is seek clarity, and that includes things like think about your future. What do you want your future to be like? Determine what it is you want to feel, and define what's meaningful. The second one is about managing your energy, which I think is a really good thing to take on board. And one practice that I really liked that he included was, if you're moving from one task to another, he calls it release tension and set intention. He says just take a moment to sort of chill and calm and relax and let all the energy go from the task that you were working on, and then think about your intention. What do you want to achieve in the next task that you're moving to? And I thought that was actually a really useful tip. The second one for generating energy is bring the joy. Make sure that you find what you're doing joyful. And the third one is optimise your health. So we're back to that wonderful standard advice: get enough sleep, eat healthy, get some exercise, all of those kind of things. The third habit is to think about the necessity. Why is it necessary for you to achieve what you want to achieve? The fourth one is about productivity, and it's talking about focusing on the right things, the things that make sure that you're working towards what you actually want to achieve. He talks about planning 5 moves that you want to do. What are the 5 major things that are going to help you achieve your goal? He talks about mastery, and he talks about what the outputs that matter. It is what you're working on, the thing that's actually going to help you achieve your goals. The 5th one is about influence, and it's about role modelling and how you behave and how you coach people that you work with. And the last one is about demonstrating courage, and he talks about what courage means. It's not necessarily what you would think it would mean, and find someone to fight for, find a cause, but make what you do relevant and helpful and meaningful to somebody else. So that's just a very quick overview of the habits. In terms of the book, one of the things that I did really like about it was that he gives you strategies and worksheets at the end of every section and encourages you to think about what you want to do to move towards those aims and towards those goals. The different habits that he's talked about, he actually encourages you throughout the book to get specific about those and what that means for your life, and to help you to put those things into action. So that's one thing that I thought was really strong about this book. It's aimed, I wouldn't say it's aimed at entrepreneurs specifically, and I wouldn't say it's aimed at senior management teams specifically. He doesn't use a lot of case studies, and he has a reason for that. And I quite like that about the book. It makes it possibly slightly less absorbing to sit and read, but it does make it more practical and useful for people to take away. And I think whatever your role in life, whatever your career is, there is something in this book that you will find useful. So that's this week's book in 5 minutes. It's High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard. I'm Lindsay Milner, silverandtraining.com. Join me for tomorrow's video where I'll be talking about work. Bye.